see the cardinal that literally just flew in? I have not seen a cardinal in this backyard all year. And as I'm filming this, as God is my witness, that cardinal that's up there on the fence just swooped in. So let's see what he does. Okay, everybody, so what I want to talk about today is saving your tomatoes. Now, I'm out here in the garden right now, and I'm looking around, inspecting my garden. I've got some squash, zucchini plants that need to come out, but I've also got a lot of tomatoes that are starting to come on. But when I'm over here, I notice something that immediately gives me pause. Yep, you guessed it. That's bird poo. And they've been eating my blackberries. So, if they're eating my blackberries because the blackberries are turning red-ish, it's only a matter of time before they start hitting my tomatoes. And I'm not playing that. We are going to do an experiment here on Down Home Backyard Gardening, and we're going to see if it works. Now, I've done research on this, and it should work. But it's a little unorthodox. So, yeah. Okay, so before we get started, I want to invite everybody to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Just go ahead and click the subscribe button, hit that bell so you're always notified whenever I upload a video. Also, you can check me out on Facebook and Instagram. It's Down Home Backyard Gardening. Just type that in and you'll find me. Now, I try to do an update on those two channels every other day or every day in the spring, summer, and fall. So first, let's talk about why birds come after your tomatoes. Now, right here behind me, I've got a bunch of tomatoes. And as you can see right here, they're starting to turn red. Now, I've already harvested 2 off of this plant, and they're in there ripening on the tomato seal, on the window seal. Only a matter of time before the birds see the red tomatoes and start swooping in. Now, I do have a deterrent already out here, and that's the owl. Now, I move this owl around every day or every other day, and I shift them because birds are smart. They remember things. They remember where danger is, and they remember where their food sources are. Hence, the reason why once birds start seeing red tomatoes in your garden or red peppers, they're going to start swooping in. But why? Okay, good question. Why does red attract birds? Well, red in nature is a warning sign. It could be both for mating purposes, this is like attracting a mate, or for, and it can also be a warning color. Hey, stay away from me, I'm dangerous. But it can also be beacon. Hey, there's something down there. And red in nature is a color that attracts. So birds are going to swoop in, and they're going to look, and they're going to start pecking because their beaks are perfect for pecking into tomatoes and getting the seeds out. Now, in nature, that's fine because that's how birds help pollinate or continue to transfer plants around their area, is dropping the seeds in their poo or dropping the seeds whenever they're eating. But we, as gardeners, we don't want birds in our garden, like at all. So imagine you're a bird, right? You're soaring up above the neighborhood. You're used to what you see as you're flying. Okay, this backyard is boring. This backyard is boring. This backyard is boring. Hey, this backyard right here has red stuff in it now. It wasn't there yesterday. Let's go find out what that is. And when they swoop in and they start pecking, they realize, hey, this backyard is a food source. We don't want that. We as gardeners do not want our backyards to be considered a food source to birds. So we have to fight the birds. Now, last year, right here in this section of the garden where I had the tomatoes, right over here, the trellises I used were out of bamboo and real rickety. Didn't really hold together great. I mean, they did the job, but they weren't great. Now, I came out one morning and I had 2 birds attacking my tomatoes. Really upset me, honestly, because I didn't get a lot of tomatoes last year. Not like I'm going to get this year. which is great. But so what I did is I bought bird netting, and I put the bird netting over the entire thing. Well, the problem with bird netting that I've realized last year was, unless you have that stuff nailed down and tucked under and there's no way the birds can get in underneath the netting, they're going to get in. That's too much trouble. I didn't like the bird netting idea. It did not work for me like I had wanted and hoped it would. So I did some researching, and what I've come up with is a little unorthodox. Might seem a little nuts too, but this channel is all about the perspective of a beginner gardener and doing experiments. Hey, if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm going to give it a shot, because the common sense behind this experiment makes a lot of sense to me. So yes, these are red Christmas ornaments. Now, I know what you're thinking. Chad, have you absolutely lost your mind? Well, maybe. No, I have not. Okay, think about it. These kind of look like tomatoes to birds. They don't know. They don't know that these are plastic. All they see is something that's red and it looks like a tomato. And it wasn't here yesterday. I know you're thinking, the birds aren't this stupid. They're not stupid. So, but they are curious. And this is a color that will bring in the birds that are curious, especially the local birds. Birds that are in your area know the area. They know where to get their food. They know where to take their baths. They know that their birds are not dumb. So today, what I'm going to do is an experiment. I'm going to put these all around the backyard. I'm going to zip tie them to all my trellises, some of the tomato plants, and what I want to see happen are the birds come in, peck, they'll swoop in, they'll peck, they'll realize this isn't a food source. It might confuse them a little bit, but that's okay. But they'll realize it's not a food source, and then they'll move on. That is the theory behind hanging red Christmas ornaments throughout your garden whenever your tomatoes are starting to grow. Now, I'm like 2 weeks behind on doing this, but I have not lost any tomatoes yet. They were pecking at my blackberries. That's okay. I'm not going to freak out on blackberries, but I don't want to lose my tomatoes. So this is what we're about to do. I'm about to hang probably 20 or 30 of these all around the backyard, because today I want the birds to swoop in, hit it, realize this isn't a food source, and move on before all my tomatoes turn red. So let's do it. Okay, and just like that, I've got all the ornaments hung that I'm going to hang. Now, I have another whole box, as you saw, of these ornaments, but I'm not going to do an overkill out here. I've put enough that I feel that in this area, I should be safe from birds, or at least I really, really hope this works. Now, word of advice, don't use glass ornaments, obviously. These are hard plastic. When they peck them, they're not going to break them because it's hard plastic. And if they do crack them, then they crack them. It's all good. But I really hope this works. I really think it will work, because I don't want to lose any tomatoes this year. This is the best crop of tomatoes that I've ever had. Now, of course, this is only my second year, but still, it's still my best crop. So I don't want to lose them. And as a backyard gardener, you all can attest, we don't want to lose anything. Not one tomato. This simple, easy little experiment works, then I'm going to advise everyone to start hanging Christmas ornaments, red ones, that look like, little tomatoes, throughout your garden as soon as tomatoes start to form. So we'll see. This will be an ongoing experiment. But Chad, how do you know if it works? The way I'm going to judge success is whether I lose any tomatoes to birds, because we all know what it looks like when birds attack your tomatoes. So if that doesn't happen at all, then I'm going to consider this a success. We'll see. Do you see the cardinal that literally just flew in? I have not seen a cardinal in this backyard all year. And as I'm filming this, as God is my witness, that cardinal that's up there on the fence just swooped in. So let's see what he does. Okay, so we just saw a cardinal swoop in. This was complete. Obviously, I can't control birds. I'm dumbfounded that this just happened as I'm filming this video. Nature is crazy. If you were watching the video, and I'm going to replay it right here and slow it down, the bird took off when the owl's head turned and faced him. Now, again, that's wind. That owl's head is, when the wind moves, it shifts the head around, and that was just a perfect timing kind of a thing. I'm seriously I'm very dumbfounded that happened while I was recording this video. All right, everyone, so that's all I got for this video. Hey, if you all enjoyed this video, even if you think it's kind of quirky and silly, share it with people, share it with other gardeners growing tomatoes. It might save their crop. And if it saves one tomato, if one bird swoops in and hits a piece of plastic and then leaves, then it worked. It's worth doing. If you all liked the video, please hit the like button. Again, like I said at the beginning, if I've earned your subscription through this video, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, and as always, continue to shine bright and harvest hard.